Okay, you can start greeting, Dionne.
Good morning, good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for being with us this morning. Truly an honor for me to wake up with you this morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning. Morning Woo Nation. It's good to be back. Hope everybody's feeling energized, alert. Morning, Adam. Welcome. Mr. Epps, I love it. He's always on time. Good morning, Mr. Epps.
Good morning, y'all. How's everyone doing this morning?
Doing well. Good morning, everyone. Teresa.
Peace and blessings. Good morning, family. Good morning, Dionne.
Morning. Good morning, Zakia. Good morning. It's good to be with everybody.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Facebook.
Yes, good
Good
morning.
morning, Adam and Teresa.
Good morning, Sally. How you doing this morning?
Good.
Morning, everyone.
Good.
I'm feeling
Blessed to be here this morning. Grand rising, everyone.
Yes. Good morning, good people. Good morning.
Morning, Nisha.
That's my coach, Coach Naja.
Good morning, sister.
Good morning. Good to be with you again.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for shaking it off, waking up with me. And Sally.
Good morning, everyone. Welcoming Facebook as you're logging in this morning. Good morning.
Yeah.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, releasing. We're teaching, we're moving. Together, we're learning, discerning. We're striving. Together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together. Dionne, unmute and let's go.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. It's really good to be back. For those who had an opportunity to join me first time around, you may already know who I am. So I actually am the founder of Live Your Best Life for You, and actually call myself a life and wardrobe stylist. So I actually began my career in fashion. So I did that for about 20 years when I just felt there was more that I was supposed to do on this planet. So that's when my reset began, my reinvention. And it's back in 2014. I was 40 years old and I was a single mom at the time. And really and truly, I mean, it should have been my dream at the time. I was, part of this launch project. It was one of the most buzzed about ventures in the country at the time. I was actually living in Toronto, Canada. I was getting to travel to New York and even be on television. You might have heard of Kleinfeld, New York, Say Yes to the Dress. I should have been happy, right? However, there was just something that was gnawing at me. And I took this leap of faith. An opportunity came along to launch a financial literacy youth program. I thought I was going to actually go back to school and be a kindergarten school teacher. When this opportunity came along, I said yes. From that, a 5-star rated podcast was born. I should have been happy, right? We got signed to a network, sponsors, all the good stuff, opportunities, but there was still more. I just felt there was something more. It didn't feel like it was my dream. So I, through a few different serendipitous moments, if you will, or divine encounters, it led me to coaching. And so now I get to work with women from the inside out to live their life of their dreams. So I've taken my passion for fashion and my purpose for women, especially busy moms who have a lot going on and still want more. Does that sound familiar? And I get to, co-create with them to live lives of possibility, passion, and purpose. So that's what I do now. So it is my belief that everyone at any stage, at any age, can reset their lives. And that's what inspired this reset process, this 5-step, the reset, how to pivot from powerless to purpose. So that's how I came to be with you today. So we can bring up the first slide. And just to give you a quick recap of what we did in the first session, it was really about setting the foundation. This is where we were really doing that inner work. So we know whenever we're going to take on something new, whether it's a full reinvention like myself, or it could be just an area of our life, whether it's a health goal, it could be career, it could be writing a book. It's good to actually take some time to pull back. And that's why I call the first step, the rest and routine. This is where you're really going in to do your self-care, taking time to quiet the mind, right? And really get those divine downloads so you can get the direction for what's next for you, or the divine strategy, if you will. So it's about creating structures and support. So maybe it's getting outside support as well. Maybe it's a coach, maybe it's a therapist. But this is really that part in this journey where we are doing the work on our side of the street to make sure we have the capacity for what we're going to take on next, right? So when challenges come, we've got tools, we're equipped, right? The next step, we talked about evaluate and eliminate. And by the way, the key to that too is just being consistent with it, right? Creating that routine, whatever that looks like for you. So that's where the routine comes in. Then we went into evaluate and eliminate. So that's now really taking time to assess our lives, like doing an inventory, if you will, of what is working, what is not, what can't go where we're our lives, like doing it. Can everybody hear me? Yeah. Okay. Great.
That was one's mic. We got it. Don't worry.
Okay. Cool. So, so it's really taking an inventory of what's working, what's not working. What can't go into our next chapter with us, and that could be old mindsets and habits. It could be, things we need to just remove from our environment, where that's physically, our home, for example. It could be the people. Maybe there are people in our circle that may have to be, some boundaries need to be set with them because they can't really support us for where we're going next, right? And then the last thing we looked at was see it and speak it. So this is when we're really starting to envision what the goal and the dream is that we want to create. And it's so important to really take time to because our minds don't know what's real or not. So the more we can see it in our minds, it's going to influence our decisions, behaviors, etc. And we looked at vision boarding, we looked at visualization, the power of that, as well as the speaking, really looking at how we're speaking over our lives. And you can see here, I have this whole butterfly transformation analogy running through this project or this presentation, because think about the butterfly, the cocoon actually comes out of its mouth. So what are we cocooning around ourselves, right, as we go through this journey of life? So that's what we covered in the first part. So now that we have laid that foundation, we can have all the dreams and visions in the world, but we need to have a plan if we really want to make it happen. So that now we're going to dive into execute and empower. And we can go to the next slide. So in this part of the presentation, what I really want to do is actually give you some tools that'll really help you achieve these goals, some productivity tools, things to fend off, the procrastination, all the things that come up when we get confronted when we're taking on something new. Now, the first one we're going to look at is SMART goals, and we can actually go to the next slide. Now, believe it or not, I did not learn about this tool until I was well into my 40s, working at that job at Kleinfeld, where now I'm already managing 20 people. And I was presented with this tool for their performance reviews. And my mind was blown. I had never heard of this before. So I'm just out of curiosity, I'd love to hear, is anybody familiar with SMART goals? I can't even see if there's hands, or you can feel free to come off mute. But I really was quite excited. You heard of it?
Any hands? Okay, Z says she's heard of it, and I also have heard of it, but I don't see any hands raised to speak about it. Oh, okay, Nigel, you want to come off mute? And Aaliyah as well says she heard of it.
Okay, wonderful.
Heard of it as well when I was working in corporate America.
Fantastic. And isn't it a really great tool? So we have these lofty, beautiful visions, but then, and dreams, but it's really a nice support structure to really check in and make sure we're on the right track. Is this something I really should be pursuing before we put all this energy and time into it, right? Oh, even Wendy's heard about it. Would someone like to volunteer just to read out with me each title of each of the acronym? Anyone want to use their voice in the space this morning?
I'll help out with that, Dee.
Okay, Sally, thank you. So the first one.
Specific. What are you going to achieve?
Yes, we really, and we talked about this in the first workshop, the importance of getting super, super clear on what it is we want to achieve, right? Because the clearer we are, it's going to, of course, help determine our behaviors, our choices along the way. So we want to be direct, we want to be detailed, and we want it to also be meaningful. So that's why this initial piece is so important. And then the M.
Being measurable. How can you tell you've made progress?
Yes. So how do I know that I've actually achieved it? So I actually have a dear friend and mentor. Her name is Alicia Holmes. She actually presented on Monday. She says, successful people really understand the power of measuring and tracking. How do you know you've got there? And what's really cool is that when you are tracking your intended result, you can even gamify it. There's a motivating aspect to it. And what I noticed too, because our minds love to play tricks on us, doesn't it? You know, the unknown, right, is what kind of keeps us sometimes from really moving forward with the thing we say we want to do. But so, for example, maybe your goal is to lose 30 pounds and you're doing your thing, but you don't really know where you are. You're not really measuring, you know, how much you're losing per week, right? So it's just kind of this vague thing that you say you just want to lose weight. But if you actually tie it to a number, and then maybe you're measuring every week, what if you're thinking you're nowhere near your goal? Then you're not really trying as hard. But flip side, say you really are focused, you have a little chart, for example, it could be on, you know, online or on your phone, or, you know, maybe it's a chart on your fridge, and you are looking at that number grow. There's something incentivizing and motivating about that. The fact you know where you are, so you can figure out where you're going and maybe adjustments you need to make. So that's why this piece is so important. And then the next one.
Is it achievable?
Yeah.
Can this actually be done?
Right? So is it doable, or is it just magical thinking or a fantasy? Like, can you actually achieve the thing? You know, we want enough, you know, to stretch you, but at the same time, if it's too high of a goal, that actually can be demotivating. So we really want to see, you know, do I even have the resources that I can actually create this? Or at least these resources accessible to me? Is it achievable? Next.
Relevance. Is this goal important to you?
Yeah, is it relevant? Is it meaningful to you? And also check in, you know, is it something that will even be around in 5 to 10 years? So say your goal is to be a librarian. You might want to rethink that goal just because that career is becoming obsolete. Is this goal that I'm trying to achieve, does it align with my bigger overarching vision for my life? So checking in, is it relevant? Because sometimes we start to spin our wheels and get involved in things that may not actually be bringing us closer to what our bigger goal or purpose is. And the last one.
Time-based.
Yes.
When do you want to achieve this goal?
Yeah, so you want to put a target date on it. You want to have definitiveness of purpose. Put a date on it, and we're going to get into this more when we look at how to create a life goal project, but you want to be working towards something versus it just hanging in the wind. So when you have a date and you can work back, it's so much more empowering again, and there's much more focus, right, when you have a timeline on it. And keep in mind, you can always push back that time marker. So just keep that in mind. Things happen. But just also keep in mind that if you delay that goal, it may be delaying the next goal or the next bigger goal that you're looking to create. But I thought this was an awesome tool when you are putting your plan, so your vision, into a plan of action. All right, so we'll go to the next slide. And I just want to say to everyone, you know, once you've really looked at, okay, you've looked at the goal, you've done the SMART check, you know, you still want to also ask yourself, can you own it? You know, is it actually your dream? And I can attest to this. I mentioned the story earlier, but are you doing this because it's your dream, or is it somebody else's dream? So when I was, you know, involved in the financial literacy nonprofit that I co-founded, I believe in the mission. I love the work that we were doing, but it still didn't feel like my thing. And so there was always still a tug and pull. I knew it wasn't, you know, so I was kind of doing things because I had to. That's another thing you want to check in on is, am I doing this because I should do it or feel I have to do it? So you want to make sure it's really your dream and not somebody else's. And you want to be inspired. You want to be inspired by your goal, right? You want it to wake you up in the morning. You know, is it challenging you? Or does it feel predictable? Does it just feel like an extension of the past? So, because that's what's going to, again, keep the momentum going if you feel like this thing is really lighting your fire, right? And lastly, I would say you want to make sure you're creating from the future. So that's why we do all that work on the front end, because we want to be really operating from the person that we're becoming, right? And not the old limiting beliefs, the judgment, all of those things that we really want to let go as we take on this new thing. Because when we're coming from that that place that's more whole, there's just much more power and velocity to what we're doing versus coming from that old state of frustration and confusion, potentially resentment and fear of how it went before, or anger of how it went before. So that tends to be a lot slower and incremental when we're trying to create something new. So really looking at that, doing that work on the front end, so we're coming from that future self as we move into this new goal. So want to check in. Anything come up for you? How's the chat going? Facebook, how we doing? Any questions so far?
They're quiet
Yeah.
in the bar,
Hi.
but anyone feel free to unmute. Okay, Teresa has unmuted. So
Yes,
Teresa,
I like the smart. I think I heard it, but I don't remember calling that name. But oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me start my video. Okay, hi. Oh, my hair looks
There
crazy.
she is.
Excuse my hair, but it's all right.
Sam.
I thought I took my lipstick off. I still got purple lipstick on. Okay. Excuse me, y'all. I like that smart technique because it just that's that word smart, because what it does is it gives you a foundation, and it makes you look at stuff, and I think that's something that I definitely will be working on
Nice.
today after I hang up, because I feel like dealing with like having, like when you say giving yourself specific time, find out if it's really like when you said about the you said the library, like make sure that whatever that you trying to do as far as a career is going to be something that you can use in the future. So I like that that you said that. Thank you very much.
Oh,
I
you're
really appreciate what you said. I'm complete.
Thank you
Hi,
for
John,
sharing.
everyone, and thank y'all.
Yes, and I love a do it now person. That's like magic to a coach's ears. So nice. And I think I saw someone put something in the chat that something resonated with them.
we are blessed to be double Dionne today. So Dionne,
Yes, I was just about to say I was so excited to see your name is Dionne.
And we spell it the same way, which is really cool.
Yes, that's because we're of the same generation.
Yes,
where it was
it's
Dionne Warwick.
Yes, my mom loved Dionne Warwick. Exactly.
And that's what I tell people all the time. And now we're getting to the point where people are like, huh? I was like, right, you're under 40. Okay. Yes, you don't remember solid gold. So yes, I definitely know the SMART goals, and I've used them before. But what I typed in what you said, there's a particular thing that I completed and have not released, but I said it wasn't my vision and my dream. So that's something you brought up that was different. So I was like, ooh, that was an aha moment for why this launch or release for something is pausing. So now I'll have to revision the why for that.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Time and energy you save, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, I like to share these things. So if I can give someone else the blueprint I didn't have.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, and the fact that you said you were in financial literacy, because I used to be in financial services. So there's a whole Dionne twinning thing happening.
Wow. Well, we have to meet in person at some point. I'm hoping you're in New York.
I am. Yeah,
Okay.
Your couch even looks like my couch, but you can't, it's dark, so you can't see anything here. So
listen, everyone
woo,
will see.
this is like woo in the Woo Nation. Well, thank you for sharing that. Anybody else before we? Oh, hi, Dionne. Good to see you.
And everyone will get to see her on Sunday because she's following you in presentation on Sunday morning.
Can you imagine?
Thank you.
This is good. This is good. All right. So if there isn't any other comments or.
Jacqueline placed a comment in the chat. Jacqueline, can you unmute and share?
I knew she was going to say that. Good morning.
Morning.
No, I was, the SMART goals is something that I'm very familiar with. We've been using them in education for many years. And I worked in a high school my last, I want to say 7 years of teaching. And the way they were applied the way they were supposed to be applied, but the goals were not. They were either not really achievable and the measurable, the thing that they came up in the measurable area was very tiny increments because they didn't really want to meet these goals. It was just let's let the superintendent and the State Department believe that we're using them and we're going in that direction because so much money was put into developing that with the teachers. So I got turned off from them, especially in that regard because the goals were not things that I agreed with. But in terms of my own life and my own situation right now, it's working for me because I had to do that. I had taken the dash with Kenyofu and I had to sit down and determine, what did I want? Did I really want it? Is this something that's going to work for me? How am I going to get there? And one thing I never really did with myself was set time dates. Like my deadlines were always outside of myself. So I struggled to set my own deadlines and set my own measurable increments with dates. So I find myself reviewing those from time to time, and I'll set my goals, and sometimes they'll be too lofty. And then I'll realize that I'm not going to make that deadline. I'm not going to be able to do it in that time. So I'm starting to get smarter about my SMART goals and making them more doable. And I'm complete.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. So I'm glad you didn't let that previous experience, turn you away from what really is a very vital tool. And what's so nice is once you start digging in, like you said, you can tweak, but you're still moving as you're tweaking. So great job. Great job. All right. So now we're going to dive into really putting this further into work by really looking at how to create a life goal project. So this is another really great tool that I use with my clients. And we can pull up that next slide if you'd like. But basically, this is an 8-step process. And the idea is first, you really want to get clear on what the intended result is, right? Then you want to solidify that future vision. So that's actually a writing exercise, which we'll talk about. Then you're going to take inventory of your skills, right? What do I have available to make it happen? You're going to create your list of resources. And you're going to start with, first of all, actually the people in your life, and then and work out from there. You're going to identify how you will reward yourself. So that's important, right? Along the way, making sure that we are celebrating the wins, right? Taking a moment to step back. We live in a society that has us on a hamster wheel of the next, that we don't really take time to be in the moment, right? With what we are creating. And I'd love to hear from anyone, do you celebrate your wins? And if yes, I'd love to hear how you do that. Anybody willing to share? Thank you, Z. Most of us don't. I agree. Not enough. Anybody else?
This is Dionne again. I would say that I'm good at celebrating the wins because I like celebrating. I'm a little kid that wants my piece of cake or candy. So it could be, all right, go ahead and finish this and then get a manicure or do your hair or call a friend or go meditate. So it may be a really small thing, but I'll select something that will make me happy. So I find a way, I think, I'll say to make my inner child happy. So I'll go like, oh, this will be nice. So I'll do this thing. So like yesterday, it was, I needed to finish a certain project and submit something by a deadline. And then I was like, okay, now you can go to yoga class, so
Beautiful.
little thing. So it can be something really helpful and healthy, but still good,
And what I love is that as you're in the doing, right, and executing, then you're making sure you're pouring back in and replenishing. So you have more to give, right?
Mhm.
You see that beautiful loop? That's so much more empowering, right? So much more
Yes.
satisfying and fulfilling. So I love that. And there's actually, those who attended the first one know that there's science behind this. So I love the fact there is data to show when you are rewarding yourself as you go along, there's actually a biochemical that is released called dopamine. It's that same feel good, right? Chemical when you work out, for example, that high. When you are rewarding yourself, you're releasing that same chemical in your brain. And so, believe it or not, the more you celebrate, more dopamine is released. So guess what? You get hooked on that. So that means you want to actually do more because you want to reward yourself. And do you see that? It's so much more healthy and uplifting, right?
Now that totally makes sense. And as I'm listening to you, I can see in my brain a reel of how I have become a productive person because there's a constant loop of rewards happening. And it's like, ooh, but I hadn't thought of it in this way. So yeah, I can absolutely see how the rewarding process, but it's also, because I saw Z saying she's not, doesn't do it enough, but I would say that my little 5-year-old runs my life. So I wouldn't get anything done unless I was doing the reward part. So it's more, so I want to say it's not like I think of it. It's like, I don't want to do that. It was like, okay, if we do that, then we get this. All right, then I'll do that. So it's almost a negotiating and a parenting of my inner child where the celebrations and the wins come out.
Beautiful. It sounds like a win-win-win to me. I'm all about it. Nice. And I love what you brought up in that you can have, and I encourage, with my clients, there could be your small reward for maybe a smaller goal. You made that phone call that you need to make today, that maybe you were putting off. Then you can have your medium goal, right? For a slightly bigger milestone. And then you can have your big goal. Maybe you landed the big client. So I'm going to reward myself to a weekend in the Poconos. I don't know. You know what I mean? Whatever it is for you. So you also can create these categories, again, to really keep you motivating, keep you going. So thank you for that. Any other comments?
Yeah, I put my hand down because it's just little, but it is a celebration. Every time I get my checkbooks out, bills laid out, and I'm able to pay each bill on time, girl, it's just so exhilarating that I just say to God, thank you. As I'm holding those bills in my hand, I just say, thank you. And it's like a whole weight. You talk about dopamine. Girl, I can get high off of that anytime. And that's just small. The other stuff, the other stuff is just,
Crazy.
That's right. All right.
Oh, I felt that. So do you see how nothing is too big or too small? I'm glad you actually opened that up because I wanted to make sure I emphasize that. Nothing too big or too small. You can celebrate the more you celebrate the little ones too. I mean, did you feel Amal's energy? So if she's going into that around her finance, that's how she's relating to her money, her abundance, all her needs are met. Guess what? The universe wants to give her more. And that's one of the ways I celebrate is through gratitude every morning.
Yeah. And another thing I done, Donnie, if you want joy in your life, focus on the little things. Focus on, my master teacher used to say, if you're feeling sad, go out there and look at the trees, the abundance, watch the birds, just look at nature. God just provides you with everything. And why focus on the stuff that ain't working? Focus on the stuff that is. And I am complete. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that. That's beautiful. Ashe. Teresa, before we move on. Oh, I see someone takes a
wanted
walk.
to share.
Mhm.
I share that. I just thank you because we grew up in a different era where, we wasn't celebrated like that. And so to be living like this and being celebrated, because I remember, like I was talking to my son last night, he was saying, I'm going to beat his, he's going to beat my granddaughter. I said, well, beat her tomorrow after school because she'll need to go to bed with you beating her, right? And so he was like, okay, mama, I'm not going to beat her tonight. But it's just the fact of it is that I remember, like if you didn't accomplish stuff in school, your parents say, oh, you're dumb, you're stupid, whatever. And so just changing those trajectories when you're talking to a kid, it make a whole, like if a kid is not doing well in school, say, you know what, baby, I believe in you. You could do anything. You are powerful. So just using those kind of words can change the whole level, and I think he would just mess with me just to see what I was gonna say about beating the child. But I was like, I don't feel that beating the child, the thing. And if he does, that's his business. But the point of it is that I was just using a different technique to deal with him to get him off track. And so I think that the way that we're learning new things and how we encourage him, because like last night I was just saying to my friend, I'm so proud of myself that I did not, like someone said something nasty to me, and that's been happening a lot lately. And I don't want to give them back what they give me. So I was celebrating that last night. I was like, girl, you came a long way. Because if somebody would have said something smart back to you, been like, what you said? Who you talking to? And I was like, nah, baby, we're not doing that. Because I discovered yesterday that I'm going to call myself healer. So how can I be healer if I'm operating in I'm going to get you back kind of mode set? And I'm complete.
Ooh, thank you, Teresa. There's so much in there. And you're kind of starting to tease into the transformation piece of this workshop. But I love everything you brought. So we're going to come back to that because there was a lot in there. So we're gonna go to the next slide. We have a few more productivity hacks that I want to share with you. Oh, sorry, I should say this. We didn't quite finish, did we? The life project, but this is an example of one, just to kind of put a visual to it on how to use this life project goal setting tool. So, like we talked about on the top end, right? We want to create the intent. What's the intended result? So here you can see my intention statement at the top here. For example, in this case, buying a home. I will raise $20,000 for a down payment by when, right? To purchase this new home for me and my family. And it's also nice to put the why in there too, because I want to have multiple streams of income and I want to have a safe place for my children to play in the backyard. Then you actually create the future vision of so basically it's a writing exercise of the day you accomplish the thing. And you want to get as detailed as possible. Who's there? What are you wearing? What does it feel like? What is it? What are you eating that day? The day you're putting the keys into the door. You want to at least have a page of that day mapped out from your mind, right? And emotions. Then you look at the skills. What skills do I have? You want to come up with at least 10 and dig. For example, okay, there's some that are not obvious. Okay, maybe I have a job or a business or I'm making money, but then maybe I'm good at managing finances. Maybe I'm good at, investing, but then I could also, maybe I have a driver's license and I can use my car to create a second stream of income. Maybe I'm driving Uber. So really dig into what skills you have that can help you accomplish this goal. And the resources. You're going to start with your people. The people that love you and want to see you win. That's the first list I always encourage. Then your next list is the people that you know. People that I know. That's the next list. So you could say maybe this is your hot your hot contacts, your warm, and then it could be, and then your cold contact, but they'd be a good resource. So those are the people. And really, guys, we, ladies and gentlemen, we know a lot of people. When you really start looking in your phone and going through your networks, you can usually come up with at least 100 people that can help you accomplish something. And we talked about, and then actually then outside of the resources, in terms of people, you want to look at what other resources do I have to create the thing that are not people. So I have a computer, I have, a mentor that knows how to show me, how to help me, create money, whatever the other things outside of people, right? Then we talked about rewards, getting clear on your small, medium, and large rewards. Then you're going to create your milestone plan. So in this case, now we have our date that we're working back from. We have our number. Okay, in my case, it's a number. I want to raise $20,000. Now I'm going to break that up into smaller milestones. So maybe it's October now. So by end of October, I have 5,000. By the time I finish end of November, I've got 10,000. So you're breaking it up so that okay, I want to hit this milestone by November 1st, for example. And then you're going to figure out what actions do I need to take to meet the first one? Then what actions do I need to take and resources do I need to use to get to the second one? But really and truly, I just want to make sure I emphasize, we start with the first one. Don't go on to the next one, because that's a lot of times why we get confronted and overwhelmed, because we're looking at this big, hairy, audacious goal, and it gets overwhelming. So the key to using this tool is just to start with the first milestone. When you've completed that and you've assigned your reward to it, right? So you've completed it, you celebrate, then you go on to the next goal or milestone. Does that sound good? Hopefully that helped having a visual. Now we'll go on to the next one. There's a couple of guys that I really love. You can go to the next slide whenever you have a chance. Their names are Taylor Pearson and James Clear. And they're a couple of productivity gurus. And we can actually go to the next slide. Thank you so much. There are a couple of productivity gurus that I discovered during the pandemic. And they deal a lot with procrastination. You can definitely, oh, great, Dionne, I'm telling you, we're kindred spirits. So I would definitely suggest, signing up for their newsletter, signing up for they've got great workshops. Definitely check them out. But one of the things that I took away that was so awesome, I didn't even realize I was doing it. So again, I really launched full force with my practice during the pandemic. And I was actually creating quite a bit. But what I didn't even realize, I was looking back maybe every 3 months and saying, wow, I created all of that in 3 months. That's really exciting. It was very motivating. And then I happened to read one of their newsletters one day where they said that actually that's a really nice sweet spot for goal setting. So let's think about when we're doing it on a daily or a weekly basis. A lot of times we're like, oh, wow, I didn't get as much done as I would have liked this week, versus looking at 3 months and looking at all that you did accomplish in 90 days. Doesn't that just uplift you and get you excited for the next 3 months? And then when they broke it down, if you're working towards, say, a 10-year goal, working in 3-month increments actually has you working 1% towards your goal every 3 months. And what I love about this, going back to consistency, small steps, is that by the time you look up, 10 years has passed, and those small things that you were doing every 3 months, that 1% adds up to the bigger impact. So I think this is such a great tool. We can pull up the next slide. I think we should be at the top 6. Yeah, this is a favorite of mine. So just like the 90-day goal setting, that's just a beautiful sweet spot. It's not too short, like a week or a day, but it's not too long and vague. So 90 days is the sweet spot, they said. Well, same with this top 6 checklist, although I want to change this to top 6 accomplishment list, because that's what I've been doing lately. Just shifting the wording seems to also be more empowering. But the top 6 is a great tool that I personally use, and again with my clients, where you're going to list the top 6 things of priority that you want to get done for the day, with the most important one going first, and then so on. So if you don't complete anything else for the day, you know you've completed the number 1 thing you had on your list. All right. And you can see there's also sections below for errands, to-do list, and phone calls. So the idea is there's going to be times where we get stopped around something, because the idea is you want to actually work through one thing, complete it before you go to the next. But sometimes you might just want to take a break from that. You're feeling stuck, what have you. So that's when you can go down, maybe do something a little lighter. Maybe you run an errand, so at least you feel like you still accomplished something. Maybe you want to get a few things done on your to-do list. Maybe there's some phone calls you want to bang out. So what's so nice about using this tool is that it's more about relating to it around being in action versus completion. Because when we're looking at what we didn't finish, that's when we start to kind of be down on ourselves. But if we're looking at it from a place of being in action, you realize that this is not about 100%. It's not about it being 100% game. It's about managing power and possibility versus, our list, controlling us, if you will. It's like the list has us versus us, So it's less about avoiding what needs to be done and it controlling us, but it's more about us managing the power, the velocity of what we want to get done for the day. So I love this tool. And whatever you don't finish, basically what you do is just, you bring it over to the next day, and what was maybe priority today, maybe we're on the list tomorrow, but you just keep going. So again, it's about staying in action, being in, and keeping momentum. So I love this one. And again, 6, I can't tell you, but they say it's basically, it's not too long, right? Because when it's a laundry list of things, again, it can be overwhelming, demotivating, but it's not too short where it's still challenging enough that you're getting some things done. So the top 6.
So Dionne, I really like this, the way you're laying it out for us. It, to me, speaks to not just the physical doing of these things, but it speaks to the spirit of what it is, the energy of getting things done. It speaks to staying in the flow of getting things done. And you may not, like you said, you may not be doing a thing you don't feel like doing, maybe if you're working on weight, like the 6X, the sit-ups today, but you might go for a walk instead, or you might do some yoga instead, but you're still staying in the flow of activity and movement that will increase your your goal of reducing the weight or resculpting your body. So I get that, and I love that you're bringing it to me from like a spiritual perspective. It's the spirit of, and thank you for that.
Beautiful. I love that. And I think we could also, there is more of a play to it. It's almost like you're gamifying it in a way too, right? It's just a little more fun the way you're being with what you want to accomplish for the day. So I love that. Thank you. Anybody else before we move on to the next? Good stuff.
This is me again. I am so motivated by what you're saying, because sometimes I'm beating myself up about what I didn't accomplish. And so the fact that you are giving me this accomplishment list, and you said, don't let the list have you. And that's true. Sometimes you get so, like whatever you didn't do on a list. And I want to thank your other co-partner, Dionne. She helped me too with a lot of stuff, with making a plan and stuff like that. So y'all are on the same point when it comes to, y'all are definitely sister kinship for sure. Thank y'all.
I believe it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Peace. This is Abimbola.
I just
Hi.
wanted to say something. How are you? I just wanted to say something about time management. That's very important. Because you can have a list, but if you don't manage your time. So for example, if I'm traveling someplace and I know that I have to pack, I'm not gonna wait the night before to pack. And then then I'm all panicking. So you need to manage your time and start earlier so you can accomplish that task. So that's very important what you're saying, but people need to know it's only doable if you manage your time factor.
Yes, that's important. And that's why it's nice to use these kinds of tools because you're mapping out in advance the things you want to accomplish. So if you know you have that trip coming up, it can be part of your list. There could be errands you need to do. There could be the bigger things that need to be
Right.
before you go on that trip. So this is a great tool for organizing your time. Yes. Nice.
All right.
All right. Well, I was just going to make sure I really emphasize this point because we have our plan now in place. Have you told anyone? We need to have some kind of accountability. I talked about it on the front end. I'm bringing it up here again because I can speak for myself even. I mean, there was a book I was trying to read and I just couldn't get into it. I know I wanted to read this book. You know, it was part of my development and training that I'm doing. And somehow I just couldn't get it going. The minute I reached out for support to a fellow coach who was reading the same book, now we meet every 2 weeks and something just kicks in because I know I got to check in, right, with someone. But the beauty of it is from me reaching out, it reminded me of practicing that I'm worthy of support. So believe it or not, that's a worthiness practice for me to ask for help. And then it created connection, deeper connection with this person. And now we've got a little book club going. So now we're getting deeper meaning from the book, all because I reached out for accountability. So it may be a fellow friend, colleague, family member, someone you trust, and it could be a coach, right? That's holding you accountable as well. Perhaps you want to just share it with the masses. Maybe you want to document your journey, right? So maybe you are on a health journey. Maybe it's putting on social media. My former sister-in-law did that, where now she has been able to show her beginning and how she went through the actual process of losing the weight. And now she's showing us her new pics. And we were right there with her. So something about making it public, right? When you're taking on something new, you don't have to go that extreme, but accountability is key. All right. So we'll go on to the next slide because now we're going to get into trust and transformation and testimonial. So this part is sorry.
I was going to say, before we go into the next slide, just so we don't interrupt the flow, we're approaching the 8 o'clock hour now. I think it's 7:53. Maybe you can acknowledge the community who may move on with their day and then get into that slide so you can then keep that flow going too.
Oh, thank you, John Carl. So yes, everybody's, whoever's here with me right now, I just want to say thank you for sharing your energy, your love, your wisdom, your vulnerability. This is what makes this Zoom room so powerful. But I also realize you have other obligations, right? So I just wish you a blessed day and go and be great and may your day be full of everyday miracles. All right, so we can skip this slide. We talked about accountability, having that support, keeping us consistent. Being in action empowers us. The more we do something, the more bold and confident we feel. And I know I've experienced this several times where there may be something I have felt as intimidating, too daunting. And then the moment I do it, I'm like, wow, that wasn't so bad, right? So now I've done it. I have confirmation I can do it. That emboldens me to want to do it again. So being in action empowers us. Remember that. All right. So now we're going to dive into trust, transformation, and testimonial. And the reason I bring up trust, especially self-trust, when we are taking on something new, we are going into uncharted territory, right? We're taking these leaps of faith. We're trying to create new habits. So that's why doing all that work on the front end to really work on our spiritual, our mental, our emotional muscles is because this is where we're going to have to really, put it into play, right? To have those support systems in place, renew our mind, because we want to be coming from a place where we can trust ourselves. And just so you know, it can be learned. So don't think you have to be born with self-trust. You can build that muscle. And there's so many ways. Now, I'd love to hear from someone, how they would typically build trust with someone else. How does it typically go for you when you're looking to build trust with another? Anybody willing to share?
I'll share. For me, if I'm trying to build trust with you, I gotta, ask you various questions on who you are as a person in terms of your character, your coping skills, and how do you deal with adversity from the standpoint of being a partner.
Yes.
Because I believe you can't just let anybody into your circle when it comes to developing a relationship, whether it be business or romantic or whatnot.
Yeah. So what I heard was communication, right?
Yeah, exactly.
There's got to be good communication with that person.
Yep. And you got to study their demeanor.
Yes, right? You're learning them. So I love that. So believe it or not, that was my number one, communication. And when it comes now just turn that back to yourself. How are you talking to yourself? What is your communication like with yourself? That is a way to look at how you're building self-trust with yourself. So thank you for that, Adam, right? So how are you talking to yourself? Because if you are saying a lot of things that are creating doubt and angst, how are you going to trust yourself as you're taking on these new things? So thank you for that. Anybody else want to share how they build trust with someone?
I started typing it in the chat, but it's definitely observation. Mm-hmm. So meeting someone new and listening to them. So you talked about communication. So as I'm listening to that person and watching what they're doing, and is it aligned with who I am and how I move in the world? And mm-hmm. are they honest?
Yes.
I'm very much say what you mean and mean what you say. And if someone is not in alignment with who I am as an individual and how I move in the world, then I'm like, I tend to distance myself. It's like we can still be in a friend's circle, but it won't be my go-to or my choice. So it's really observation and time.
Well, I love that. So I heard a lot. One, are they in alignment with my life? So that's very important. And I'm gonna kind of flip it and say that sounds also like integrity. Are they in or out of integrity? So are you being in integrity with yourself?
Mm-hmm.
That will build self-trust. Are you keeping your word to yourself? Am I doing things that are in alignment with who I am, my core values and beliefs, the things I want to create, right? If someone's constantly saying they're going to do something and they flake, can you trust them? Same with ourselves. If we keep saying we're going to do this thing that aligns with where I want to go, but I keep doing something else, can I trust myself?
Yeah, those are, you nailed it for me. Cause I'm like, nope. Again, generational, word is bond. You said, so unless you're coming back to me and going, you know what, and I do leave space for the renegotiation, right? So the same thing you talked about with goals, I set a date, and I was like, okay, this thing has come up. Am I being, realistic? Just one recent example of a health issue with a family member. It's like, well, you have this goal, but you can't meet this goal and support your family. And it's really important that you're supporting your family. So that goal needs to change. So if you come and there's communication with self or others to say, I know I said this, but now it needs to be that because of this. But all of that is in line. It was like, oh, you're just going to keep flaking and not, it's like, yeah, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
So thank you for that framework.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I love what you also shared too, that there's room for compassion, right? Your self-compassion allows you, having self-acceptance allows you to build self-trust, letting go of judgment and unforgiveness of how it's gone before, right? And allowing yourself to have some grace. So that builds self-trust as well. And then you also talked about realistic goals. How can you trust yourself if you keep setting these goals that are too far out there, and then you just never make them, and you think I can never do it because I can never achieve it? You're creating this whole negative cycle. So how can you trust yourself if you're always feeling you're going to fail? Right. So those are just a few ways that you can start building self-trust. And I have one of my mentors, she talks about trust as a three-legged tool. There's trusting yourself, trusting others, and trusting the process.
Yes.
Okay. And if one's a little off, we know that stool's going to be a little, wobbly. So we want to really look at all of those angles of trust as we're taking on that new thing.
Yes. Yes. Right. Oh, I love that. Yeah. One
Yeah.
of my girlfriends from yoga teacher training got the tattoo, trust the process, on her body. She literally has it on her body. Trust the process.
Yeah. Trusting that intuition, that sixth sense, all of it. Right. So good stuff. Teresa, I see your hand up. We'll take one more comment.
Yes, I just wanted to say is that with that trust stuff is that I realized with me was that I didn't trust myself. So how can I say, am I trusting someone else? And so a lot of times we're putting expectations on other people, but it's ourselves that we first have to look at. So when I started being comfortable with who I was, then the people begin to weigh out, because what happens is that I personally feel spiritually that you will draw, like if whatever part of you that's not correct, you will draw those kind of people to you. So if you're drawing a lot of characters that's not good, then that's kind of shady. Maybe you got some shadiness in you, and sometimes we don't want to look at that about ourselves. We're like, oh no, that's not me. No, but then why is it drawing to you? Why is that kind of person drawing? So when I started looking at myself, and that's my favorite word, is trust the process, because I've been dealing with some situations that I realized that it was me that was the problem, because I did not deal with myself properly. So it made me. But I was over here choking because sister said and I don't know if she's gonna get on, but she said she dropped $1 in front of the person and act like she didn't know. And what happens is that she dropped $1. I guess she see if they're gonna pick up the dollar, tell her she dropped $1. So we've been in here laughing hysterically about sister she dropped $1 in front of the people. So just to bring another part of the thing to give people some laughter about it. But it was funny. She said she dropped $1 on the floor to see what happens. I guess if they're gonna pick it up. But that really is a good something when you think about it. Is that person trustworthy? So we all have been here laughing in this chat. So y'all have a great day, and I'm complete.
Thank you for bringing the joy and the levity. But what you said is powerful, right? How we trust ourselves is going to show up in our relationships. It's going to show up our relationship with spirit, believe it or not, right? It'll show up in that relationship. It'll show up in our relationship with others. So really doing that work on, like I said, our side of the street is going to show up in the other areas. So doing that work is so important. So thank you for that, Teresa. And we're going to drop, just so you have a point of reference, the definitions of what self-trust is, and why we've discussed why it's so important. And so now we're going to dive into transformation. And I love, because it was Teresa who brought it up earlier, just what it looks like. I mean, we've had this analogy of the butterfly throughout this presentation for a good reason, because it's a beautiful example of how we start out in this world, right? It's this little blob. It's very close to the ground, right? But by the time we go through this journey of resetting, reinventing, personal transformation, what comes out on the other side is unrecognizable. So that's what happens when we do this. You can't even recognize, physically it could be, it's their being, just the way they're being about life. And we're going to drop a definition from a doctor called Joe Dispenza, who really breaks it down, in terms of what transformation, that process really kind of flows or looks like. Because as our thoughts change, it affects our choices, our behaviors, and then our experiences change. And then, our feelings change, just the way we are being in the world changes. And I love what Teresa had brought in earlier about how you can start to tell that you're experiencing transformation. The way you respond, or just don't even respond anymore. You don't even have those same triggers anymore because you've done that healing work necessary, so that when you are getting confronted with this new challenge you're taking on, you've done you've got the tools, you're equipped emotionally, you've got the structures, you've got the accountability available to you, that you can move on. So I want to make sure I emphasize, when we're doing something new, it's going to come with challenges. We have to expect that. However, it's us being in these workshops and doing our healing work that is going to allow us to use those challenges to fuel us into our transformation, right? So into that beautiful butterfly that's ready to soar. So that's what I want to say about why it's worth going through it, why it's worth going through this reset. There's going to be a lot that comes up, no question. As we get out of our comfort zones, and we can pull up that slide, you'll see the more we're getting out of our comfort zone, the more growth that takes place. It's also the place of the fear of the unknown. It's the place of the unknown, but that's where the possibility lives. So just keep that in mind as you're going along through that reset, whatever that looks like for you. But I want to remind everyone, and they say one of the most dangerous places to live or stay actually is in your comfort zone. So let that sit with you for a moment. The most dangerous place to live or stay is actually in the place of comfort. And hopefully that slide comes up shortly, just to give you a visual. There we are. Just to see how the further you move out, the more growth that takes place. And just to round things out, so we've done our reset. We're experiencing we've achieved our goals. We've experienced the benefits of the transformation that goes with it. So I believe at this point, it's important for us to actually share our testimony. I feel that's such a key component. I think it's a divine calling for all of us. Again, nothing too big or too small. So, and I guess what I want to say is this: by you not sharing your testimony, someone may miss out. Someone that may need to hear your story. You have the opportunity to potentially free someone that may be stuck. And just by sharing your story, your journey, the challenges you face, they may feel, wow, I can do this too. And if you don't ever, take on that reset, someone may be missing out on that song that they need to hear. Maybe it's a medicine that you need to create, whatever product that might be. There's someone that needs what you are offering. So I'll leave you with that. that we can't have a testimony without tests. So going back to, there are going to be challenges along the way, but it's what is used to really strengthen you, empower you, and transform you into the person you are destined to be. And that, my friends, is the reset. And I have a little quote at the end there, just to round things out for you. But our personal transformation is what feeds into the collective transformation of this world. Any last comments before we go into Sally's beautiful portion of the presentation?
So I'm going to call on Kay Sweetness to share. And then Zakia had her hand up, so, and then we'll go on to Sally.
Okay.
Grace and peace, grand rising, everyone.
Grand rising.
Wow. The road I take is filled with grace and mercy. Surely I'm on the right road.
Beautiful.
Okay. So they say no pressure, but they always put this sign up. Could you put yourself on camera? Okay, this is my morning face. All right. Well, this is today's morning face that I love. Can you see me?
There you are. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Good to see you.
Yes, good to be seen. So I'm getting ready to write a book. I've been doing that since 2014. Somebody pointed that out to me yesterday. And so what I want to share is that because I've been talking about it, then I have to answer to it. So I'm free with my speech. A lot of people know that about me, and some people don't like it. However, that's their problem. So what I want to share today is that my book, the meat of my book, is that it's so beneficial to have people in your space and in your life. I call them mentors, sometimes angels. However, I found that that's what kept pushing me forward when I stayed in my comfort zone, which nothing was happening there anyway.
Not much happens there, right? I love the way you said that.
Nothing was happening there. And so I'm so grateful that I have educated, compassionate, wise, patient mentors in my life, both men and women, who have been propelling me forward. And trust, I've learned, it starts in here. It starts with me, because I'll be lying to myself every day. And so then I say, well, but I have a problem when my sons lie to me. I have 2 sons. And I found out that I have a problem when they lied to me. And then I turned it around. I said, well, you're not being truthful to your own self. So I've been spending energy on keeping my word, waking up at a certain time, doing certain things, consistently. Trust. That's where, to me, consistent, be consistent, show up. I have a mentor. The first time we met, she asked me to take her somewhere, and I was so glad to take her, but I couldn't find her house and I was late. And she was like real adamant. She got in her own car and she went. However, that established a foundation for our relationship. I was never late again. So that's what I want to share with the community this morning, is that don't be afraid to disappoint your accountability people. I never hesitate to call them to say what I need to say, that I didn't do what you said, or I didn't do what I said. I'm not afraid. And to me, that's trusting them in my life with the process. That's so important. Because yesterday I shared with, I was sharing my book with somebody who's helping me edit. And they said, well, it says here that you started 2014. So it wasn't like I was trying to hide that part of it. I was like, so I'm still doing it, and I didn't give up on it. And so I got a new energy from them bringing that up. Not that I have excuses for not finishing it. However, I'm grateful
like you said about accomplishments, my accomplishment is that I did not let it go and I did not give up. And I said to my mentor, I now have to write it because I want to live my life and it's keeping me from living my life. And if I don't do it, then I can't let it die in me, and not doing it is not an option.
Yes.
And with that, I'm complete.
Thank you for that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and if we have time, we can have a brief share from Z. And the comments have been very, very rich. So Z, if you would just give us a brief share, because we do want to get in Sally as well. Thank you.
Actually, you can go ahead. It wasn't critical, so continue with the program. Thank you.
If you would drop it in the chat, that would be wonderful. We could read it. Thank you. Okay, I turn it back to you, Dionne and Sally.
Wonderful. Well, Sally, I'll give it to you.
Thank you. Peace and blessings, everyone. Good morning. Thank you, everyone on Facebook, for joining us this morning. And for some of you who are return folks like me, I am a soul wisdom energy healer. And in this part, we're going to be putting together all those energy. And I know that some people, when we do our meditations, they go back to sleep with me. But today we're going to do something very different. We're going to be energizing all of that. I apologize. I'm outside in the downtown core area in the city. So if you hear background noise, I apologize for that. So for today, we're going to be energizing our centers, and it's our 7 main centers of our body as we go into this meditation. And as I call out each of the energy centers, I will also call out what we're going to be opening up and what we're going to be clearing in our session today. So if we can start the music, and for those of you who are sitting down or lying down or walking, those are very much preferred. For those of you who may be driving, just follow us with your breath. Please be careful, or pull over for the next 5 or 7 minutes. And we're going to be starting shortly. And as we prepare the music, thank you. Connecting with your breath and slowing it down. And as I count us down to 3, let us all take a collective breath together. Deep as you can, all the way down to your feet. In 3, 2, 1, deep breath in. And out. As you start to ground your feet, feeling the soles of your feet as if you're walking in soft grass. Soft green grass. Allowing the feelings of Mother Earth nourishing you from your feet. Feeling the air around you. Envisioning the beautiful smell just after it rains when everything is nourished. And allowing that light and nourishment to come up to your ankles, your legs, your knees, thighs, completely energizing and relaxing all at the same time. Slow, deep breaths. If you have your eyes closed, focusing in that space behind your closed eyelids. Clearing any thoughts that you may have, and just being present with your body and your surroundings at this community today. Protect our space with this beautiful light coming from Mother Earth. And allowing that light energy center right at the bottom of your tailbone, releasing that muscle around your tailbone area, base of your spine, energizing and clearing, energizing survival, your body connection, allowing your security, your stability, and your strength, connecting with family and your ancestors. As we walk this path, feeling your feet and knowing that you've come a long way. Allowing that light to move up to your lower abdomen, your lower back, just below your belly button, connecting to your personal emotional stability, your adaptability, your growth, your sexuality, connection with creativity. This is where we create life and love, connecting with your breath. Stay with it, coming back into your body, releasing any thoughts. Slow, deep breaths. As we move up to your third energy center between your navel and your sternum, connecting to your personal power, energizing your metabolism, your willpower, your independence, your assertion, your trust, self-trust, and your intuition, allowing your gut, following your gut. Slow, deep breaths as all those energy centers become energized. And as we move up to our heart center, right in the center of your chest, feeling all that love coming to you, coming from you, allowing your love center to expand all the way out, energizing your self-acceptance, universal love, compassion, purity, opening your heart center. This is where all healings start. Feeling your shoulders drop a little bit more as you're going into your body, energizing, feeling the light come all the way up from Mother Earth, feeling all that nourishment. As we go up to your throat, is your fifth energy center at the base of your neck. Energizing your communication, your language. Let your language be the language of love and integrity and honesty for your betterment, the community, those around you. Allowing your words to heal, to help, feeling that energy coming all the way up to your third eye, right between your eyebrows. We're connecting with your breath, releasing any thoughts, energizing your intuitive insight, your conceptual conceptual awareness, not just your knowledge, but your wisdom, connecting with your ancestral eyes, not just with your physical eyes, connecting with that wisdom that is innate within you. Slow, deep breaths, feeling the vibrations all the way around you, within you and inside you. As we go to the very top of your head, the seventh energy center, connecting spirit, divine, universe, higher consciousness, unity, and complete surrender and complete trust, divine intelligence, energizing, knowing that you are loved, knowing you are protected and safe, knowing that you have a community surrounding you. As we give thanks, the gratitude of all that we learned today and all that we learn in this community, as we sing the song of life for one more day, we say thank you. Feeling all the blessings right in your heart center, feeling all the blessings from the top of your head, all the way down your spine, all the way down to your feet. You are one. You're one with spirit and all the energies that you vibrate today. And in the next few breaths, just allowing yourself to come back into your body, coming back to your surroundings, to this community, feeling energized, loved, safe, full of gratitude, and ready to testify to all the healings you've experienced in this space. And in the next few breaths, just allowing yourself to wiggle your digits, your fingers and your toes, all that energy, saying thank you. I honor you. I honor your spirit today. Allowing your eyes to open whenever you're ready. Grace and ease in the grace of life. From my heart to yours, all the love. Thank you so much. And just to close out from what Dionne is saying this morning, my journey in this spiritual path was full of physical pain and sickness for the better part of my adult life. And in this sense, I just wanted to say that my testimony is my health today. And I want to say thank you. And in those small goals of saying, I am going to be healed today, those are the things that I share that testimony with you today. And so I say thank you. And I'll send it back to Dionne, coming back into the spotlight perhaps, to share our next slides.
Wow, thank you for that, Sally. I literally felt my throat opening up. It's interesting because I've been talking this whole time, but it actually, I felt it opened by the end of your. So
beautiful.
So thank you, everyone. Hope you're feeling energized, ready to rock as you go out into the world and take on your reset. And I guess we will begin our closeout, just to make sure we know how to find each other and stay connected with each other.
So for my special offer this morning, the first participant to email me at iamgirlelephant@gmail.com will receive a complimentary half-hour session from me, and we'll get in touch if I don't receive the email before we close out today. And if you'd like to just have a chat, have a healing, see what we can do together, these are my contact information. You can find me on Facebook. We are in the same community together, so you can send me a direct message or on Instagram at iamgirlelephant. Or if you'd like to read about my story of why it is Girl Elephant, you can also go on my website with the same name, girlelephant.com, or send me an email at gmail.com. I'll pass it back over to Dionne.
Yes. So the first person I'm happy to offer that emails me within the hour, the first person to email me wins a 1-hour complimentary coaching session. So I'm excited to offer that to you. So just email me at Dionne@liveyourbestlifeforyou.com. And would love to stay connected. So again, I am a life coach and wardrobe stylist. I work with women from the inside out. I'm also a speaker and moderator. So I am here to serve. You can reach me through Facebook and Instagram, both at Dionne Nicholls. And you can also email me or check out my website and always keep up to date on what I'm up to at liveyourbestlifeforyou.com. And yes, we love the love. So love offerings and donations are welcome. You can actually make payments through Zelle or QuickPay at soleadershipdevelopment@gmail.com. Cash App is also an option at Spirit of a Woman with the $sign. And please use the code 435DN. Oh, and I get the pleasure of introducing our next facilitator. Her name is Dionne C. Monsanto. So join us on Sunday, October 17th, 4 Ways to Love the Body in the Mirror. Wow, that's a great title. So yes, Sunday, be there.
Before we go into the new members, I'm sorry to interject there for a moment. I did receive my first email from Wendy Pierre. So I just wanted to say, Wendy, congratulations. Do you accept the half-hour complimentary session if you're still there? Or is she on Zoom?
I am still here, but not showing my face right now. I was just on Cash App, but I'm still here.
Thank you. Do you accept the half-hour session?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
I'm excited to see
That's why I rushed over.
Thank you very much. So we'll get in touch. And yes. Jacqueline, please get in touch. If you'd like to hear more about your visions during the meditation, please get in touch with me on email. Thank you.
Dionne, would you like to share who your winner is, if you have that?
I can. I mean, double whammy. Wendy Pierre. She's quick on the draw.
I'm fast on the draw.
You sure are. So I look forward to our discovery call.
Yes, ma'am. I
Can't
didn't think I'd make it double. I just tried.
Oh, wait. Oh, no. So
No,
sorry.
I hope someone else did.
Dionne Monsanto beat
Okay,
you.
good.
Yes.
I don't
Sorry,
want to steal. I don't want to
tease like
steal it
that.
all. Good.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, she did come in just before.
All right. Well, you know,
Congratulations, Dionne.
thank you. I'm going to be with my twin. I'm sitting on our same couch. Thank you.
Can't wait.
Congratulations, winners. That is awesome. Congratulations. Got to be fast on your fingers here in Woo when it comes to emailing and getting these prizes. That's beautiful. And at this time, I would like to welcome all the newcomers, all the new members here in Woo. And I love that we've been getting I've been seeing consistently new names showing up. So if you're one of those new members, just share in the chat, whether you're here on Zoom with us or you joining us in Facebook, share in the chat. Community members are always there to welcome you with love. And please come back and invite more friends. We love to have you here receiving these amazing messages that our facilitators are offering with these workshops. And a beautiful session here this morning with Dionne and Sally. And for our schedule, you can find us here 5 days a week. Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays are our 90-minute sessions from 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. And on Mondays and Wednesdays, we're here for a 30-minute QC session, and that is from 7 to 7:30. And we always streaming live on Facebook. And our Woo Swag. Get that Woo Swag, this beautiful logo I have here behind me. You can find that on t-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, masks. You know, we still have to protect ourselves, so the masks are available, and you can show your swag, your Woo Swag, as you do that. And you can find this, our store, at bit.ly/Woo Swag. And we thank you again so very much. And to stay in touch, here are a few options for you. You can register with us, so you can join us here in the Zoom space. And you can do that by going to bit.ly/Wake Up Movement. You can join our Facebook, our private community, at bit.ly/Woo Community. And on Instagram at Wake Up Everybody Virtual. And on YouTube, bit.ly/Woo on YouTube. And again, you can email us info.wakeupseries@gmail.com. And with that, today we would like to offer and invite you to join us. If you're interested in being a member of our team, come volunteer with us. It says here to stick around at today's session, but I don't think we are doing that today. Yeah, confirmation there from my assistant admin Cheryl. And we're not doing that today, so copy this email, and matter of fact, do it now. If you are interested, email us right now, info.wakeupseries@gmail.com. I'd love to see new faces behind the scenes and getting all the benefits that we offer here, and interacting one-on-one with some of the leaders here in our community. So we look forward to seeing you, family. At this time, I will stop screen share. We will invite you to come off mute, and it's time for our love shower for Sally and Dionne. Thank you so very much, man.
Thank you, Dionne. Thank you, Sally, for
Thank
that
you,
work.
Sally.
And I just want to say that
Dionne.
everyone have a blessed day.
Thank you so much for that
Support everybody.
So much.
Sally, thank you, Dionne. Love you both. Thank
sharing
you.
your experience and your passion, which is very similar to mine.
Thank you.
Kiss me, Dionne. Kiss me, Sally.
Thank you
Every morning
Sally, for that wonderful meditation. It is going to move me through my day. God bless you.
Right. Bye.
Yes.
It
Thank
was amazing.
Peace and
So
blessings. Thank you.
amazing. So amazing.
Yes.
It was amazing.
Amazing.
Oh, yes, it was. Oh, yes.
Teresa.
Peace and blessings,
Yes.
family.
Okay. Bye. See, you got me to put on my morning face.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for
Bye.
bringing it.